The soft glow of Coruscant's endless city lights filtered through the apartment window, painting the sleeping face of Senator Padme Amidala in hues of amber and violet. Beside her, Anakin Skywalker, Jedi Knight, lay awake, his mechanical hand resting gently on her waist. Their marriage, a year old, was a whisper in the Force, a secret kept even from Obi-Wan, a bond forged in stolen moments and hushed promises. The Clone Wars raged, a constant, gnawing presence, but in these rare, quiet hours, they were simply Ani and Padme, husband and wife. The secrecy was a double-edged lightsaber. It protected them, yes, from the strictures of the Jedi Code and the political scrutiny of the Republic. But it also isolated them, each carrying the weight of their forbidden love alone. Anakin's nightmares of Padme's death persisted, fueled by the stress of war and the fear of discovery. Yet, unlike before, he had her warm presence beside him to anchor him, even, if only, for a few hours. He spoke of his fears, and she, with her unwavering strength, would calm the tempest in his soul. "We will face whatever comes, Ani," she'd whisper. Together, the war intensified, stretching the Jedi thin. Anakin's prowess grew legendary, his connection to the Force deepening with every battle. But so too did his impatience with the Council, their cautious approach, their seemingly endless commitment to a war that seemed to have no end. Palpatine, ever the confidant, continued to subtly poison his mind against the Jedi, praising his power, hinting at the Council's perceived lack of trust. Yet, the Chancellor found a new, unexpected resistance in Anakin. The young Jedi, though conflicted, was less susceptible to the lure of ultimate power. He had a different ultimate power now. The quiet, fierce love for his wife, and the burgeoning secret they now shared. Padme's secret was harder to keep. The subtle changes in her body, the morning sickness she attributed to stress, the increasing need for rest. She was pregnant. The news, when she finally shared it with Anakin in a secluded garden on Naboo, was met with a mixture of overwhelming joy and profound terror. Twins. Two tiny lives, a tangible manifestation of their love, but also the ultimate proof of their transgression. They devised a plan, a risky, desperate one. Padme would slowly withdraw from public life, citing exhaustion from the war, eventually returning to Naboo for extended leave. They would have to trust a select few, very few, to help them. Captain Typho, loyal to the core, and a trusted handmaiden, Dorme, were brought into the innermost circle, their shock quickly replaced by fierce dedication. The galaxy shuddered. Order 66. Anakin was on the outer rim, leading a charge against separatist forces. When the command came, his clones turned. The familiar faces, now cold, calculating killers. The Force screamed around him, a cacophony of dying Jedi. He felt Mace Windu's death, a sharp, agonizing stab. He felt the betrayal, the horror. But through the chaos, a different, clearer signal cut through. Padme, her fear, her vulnerability, the tiny sparks of life within her. He didn't hesitate. He cut down his attacking clones. His lightsaber, a blur of blue, not in vengeance, but in a desperate fight for survival. He knew, with chilling certainty, that the Jedi Temple was under attack, that Palpatine was behind it. He didn't go to the temple. He went to Padme. He found her apartment in lockdown, Typho and Dorme already preparing for escape. The Chancellor, "He's a Sith Lord," Anakin gasped, his face pale, his eyes wide with a terror she had never seen. "He's destroying the Jedi. We have to go. Now." They fled, a small, desperate group, using Padme's diplomatic ship, cloaked and untraceable thanks to Anakin's quick modifications. They watched from afar as the Republic fell, replaced by the iron fist of the Galactic Empire. The news of Darth Vader, the Emperor's enforcer, spread like wildfire. Anakin felt a cold dread when he heard the name, a chilling echo of what he could have become, what he almost became. But he had chosen a different path. He had chosen them. They settled on a remote, forgotten moon, a world of lush forests and hidden caves. Luke and Leia were born there, healthy and vibrant, their cries filling the quiet, secluded home. Anakin, the legendary Jedi general, became a father, his days filled with changing diapers and teaching his children about the stars, about the Force, about the importance of compassion. He never spoke of the Jedi Order. Not directly, but he trained his children, subtly, in the ways of the Force, teaching them control, empathy, and the quiet power within. He kept his lightsaber hidden, a painful reminder of a past life, but also a symbol of the choice he had made. Padme, though heartbroken by the fall of the Republic, found renewed purpose in her children and in supporting Anakin. She used her political acumen to establish a network of informants, a quiet, unseen resistance against the Empire, feeding information to nascent rebel cells. She was no longer a senator, but her fight for freedom continued, now for her children's future. Years passed. Luke and Leia grew, their Force sensitivity undeniable. They were curious, adventurous, and questioned the strange, secluded life they led. Anakin, now older, his face lined with the burdens of his past and the joys of his present, knew the truth could not be hidden forever. The galaxy was changing. The rebellion was gaining strength. The day came when a coded message reached them, a desperate plea from a struggling rebel cell, cornered by Vader's forces. Anakin looked at Padme, then at his children, now teenagers, their eyes bright with a nascent understanding of the galaxy's struggle. "It's time," he said, his voice firm. He donned his old robes, ignited his lightsaber. It hummed to life, a beacon in the quiet forest. Luke and Leia watched, their faces a mixture of awe and fear. "Your father," Padme said, her hand resting on Anakin's arm, "is a Jedi Knight, and he is going to help bring balance back to the Force." They emerged from the shadows, not as the chosen one and the fallen senator, but as a family, a hidden force, ready to fight for the light they had secretly nurtured for so long. The galaxy, unaware of the Skywalker family's true survival, was about to face a new kind of hope, one born not of prophecy and tragedy, but of a love that defied the darkness. 10 key points. Enduring. Secrecy. Anakin, and Padme's marriage remains a profound secret, known only to a select few, creating immense personal strain, but also a unique bond. Palpatine's limited influence. While Palpatine still attempts to manipulate Anakin, the presence of Padme and the impending family provides Anakin with a stronger emotional anchor, making him less susceptible to the dark side's allure. Hidden pregnancy and birth. Padme's pregnancy is meticulously concealed, leading to their withdrawal from public life and the secret birth of Luke and Leia on a remote world. Anakin's choice during Order 66. Instead of falling to the dark side and becoming Vader, Anakin chooses to protect his family during Order 66, abandoning the Jedi Order to ensure their survival. The Skywalker family. In hiding. The family goes into deep hiding, living a secluded life away from the Empire's reach, with Anakin embracing his role as a father and husband. Padme's continued resistance. Padme, though no longer a senator, covertly establishes an intelligence network, contributing to the nascent rebellion from the shadows. Luke and Leia's upbringing. The twins grow up, knowing both their parents, receiving subtle Force training from Anakin, leading to a different development of their abilities and understanding of the Force. Anakin as a Grey Jedi. Anakin maintains his connection to the Force, not as a Dark Lord, but as a hidden protector. A Grey Jedi who operates outside the traditional Jedi-Sith dichotomy. A different hope. The survival of the entire Skywalker family offers a new, more direct lineage of hope for the galaxy, contrasting with the fragmented and tragic path seen in the original timeline. Emergence for the rebellion. After years of secrecy, the Skywalker family eventually emerges to join the fight against the Empire, their unique circumstances and combined strengths offering a powerful, unexpected force for the rebellion. The hushed vows exchanged on Naboo, beneath the shimmering waterfall, were not just a promise between Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala. They were a secret, woven into the very fabric of their beings. This profound bond, a marriage in all but public declaration, became their most guarded treasure. It was a secret kept not only from the prying eyes of the galactic public, but, more crucially, from the discerning gaze of the Jedi Council, and even from Anakin's closest mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. The Jedi Code, with its strictures against attachments, loomed large, a constant threat to their forbidden love. For Anakin, the weight of this deception was immense. Every interaction with the Council, every mission he undertook, was underscored by the fear of exposure. His nightmares, already vivid with premonitions of loss, were now amplified by the anxiety of their hidden life. He walked a tightrope, balancing his duties as a Jedi Knight with the fierce, protective love he held for Padme. The conflict simmered beneath his calm exterior. Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Captain Typho, her fiercely loyal head of security, was the first, his initial shock quickly giving way to a solemn, protective dedication. Then, Dorme, a trusted handmaiden, was brought into the innermost confidence. Her quiet strength and unwavering discretion proving invaluable. As Padme's pregnancy progressed, they executed their plan with meticulous care. Her appearances became fewer, her excuses more frequent. Finally, under the guise of needing profound rest, she departed Coruscant, on her diplomatic ship, modified by Anakin, for cloaked, untraceable passage. Their destination was a remote, forgotten moon, a world far from any established hyperspace lanes, a place of lush, untamed wilderness and hidden caves. It was there, in the deepest secrecy, surrounded only by Anakin, Typho, and Dormi, that Luke and Leia were born, their first cries echoing not through a sterile medical bay, but through the quiet, secluded sanctuary of their hidden home. The galaxy, already fractured by war, shuddered with a sudden, agonizing tremor. Anakin Skywalker was on the outer rim, leading a desperate charge against separatist forces, his lightsaber a blur of blue against the chaotic backdrop of battle. Then, the command came. Order 66. It wasn't spoken aloud to him, but the chilling directive resonated through the Force, a dark echo of betrayal. His clones, the familiar faces he had fought alongside for years, turned on him with terrifying efficiency, their movements precise, their eyes cold and devoid of recognition. The Force screamed around him, a cacophony of dying Jedi, a symphony of agony and betrayal that threatened to overwhelm his senses. He felt the sharp, agonizing stab of Mace Windu's death, a powerful presence extinguished in an instant. The horror of what was unfolding, the sheer scale of the treachery, was almost paralyzing. He could have succumbed to the despair, to the rage that threatened to consume him, just as he had so often teetered on the brink. But, through the chaos, a different, clearer signal cut through the maelstrom of destruction. It was Padme, her fear, her vulnerability, the tiny, nascent sparks of life within her. The Force, which had always been a conduit for his anxieties about her, now served as a lifeline, pulling him back from the precipice of despair. He knew, with a chilling certainty that settled deep in his bones, that the Jedi Temple was under attack, that Palpatine, the seemingly benevolent Chancellor, was behind it all. He didn't hesitate. He didn't go to the temple to fight a losing battle or to seek vengeance. His lightsaber, once a tool of war for the Republic, became a weapon of desperate survival. He cut down his attacking clones, not in a fit of dark rage, but with a singular, unwavering purpose: to reach Padme. In that moment of galactic collapse, Anakin Skywalker made a choice that defied prophecy and destiny. He chose love over power, family over the Order, and in doing so, he irrevocably altered his fate and the fate of the galaxy. The remote moon they chose for their sanctuary was a world of breathtaking, untamed beauty. Lush, emerald forests stretched for miles, concealing hidden caves and winding rivers. It was a place untouched by the galactic conflict, a perfect shroud for a family seeking to disappear. Here, far from the prying eyes of the nascent Galactic Empire, Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala began their new, clandestine lives. The legendary Jedi General, once a hero of the Republic, shed his identity and embraced the quiet, profound role of a father and husband. His days, once filled with strategic planning and lightsaber duels, were now devoted to the simple, yet infinitely complex, tasks of raising 2 infants. He learned to change diapers with surprising dexterity, to soothe crying babies with a gentle hum of the Force, and to marvel at the tiny hands that grasped his finger. He taught Luke and Leia about the constellations visible from their secluded home, about the gentle flow of the Force in the rustling leaves, and the importance of compassion, a lesson he himself was still learning. His lightsaber, once an extension of his will, remained hidden, a painful reminder of a past life, but also a symbol of the profound choice he had made for his family. Padme, though heartbroken by the swift and brutal fall of the Republic she had served so faithfully, found renewed purpose and strength in her children and in supporting Anakin. She adapted to their secluded existence with grace, transforming their hidden dwelling into a home filled with warmth and love. While Anakin focused on the immediate needs of their growing family, Padme, ever the strategist, began to quietly establish a network of informants. From the shadows of their remote moon, she gathered intelligence, feeding crucial information to the scattered, nascent rebel cells that dared to defy the Empire. She was no longer a senator, but her fight for freedom continued, now driven by the fierce desire to secure a future for her children, a future free from tyranny. Their hidden life was a constant exercise in vigilance, but it was also a profound testament to their enduring love and their shared commitment to a future they hoped to build. Padme Amidala, a woman who had dedicated her life to the ideals of democracy and justice, felt the fall of the Republic like a physical blow. The news, reaching her on their secluded moon, was a constant ache in her heart. The galaxy she had fought for, the one she believed in, had been twisted into the tyrannical Galactic Empire. Yet, amidst her profound sorrow, a new, fierce determination ignited within her. Her children, Luke and Leia, were the living embodiment of the hope she refused to let die. Their future, their freedom, became her renewed purpose. Though stripped of her senatorial title and far from the political centers of the galaxy, Padme's sharp mind and extensive network of contacts remained. She began, subtly at first, to reach out, using encrypted channels and trusted intermediaries, often individuals she had worked with during her time in the Senate, who shared her disillusionment with the Empire. She started to piece together a covert intelligence network. It was a painstaking process, fraught with immense risk, but her resolve was unwavering. From their hidden refuge, Padme became a silent, unseen force against the burgeoning Empire. She leveraged her understanding of galactic politics, her knowledge of key figures, and her innate ability to discern truth from propaganda. Her network gathered vital information: Imperial troop movements, supply routes, the locations of detention centers, and whispers of dissent among various systems. This intelligence, meticulously verified and carefully packaged, was then fed, through circuitous and untraceable paths, to the nascent rebel cells scattered across the galaxy. She operated with extreme caution, knowing that a single misstep could expose not only herself, but also Anakin and their precious children. Her work was solitary, often conducted in the quiet hours of the night, while Anakin watched over their sleeping twins. It was a different kind of fight than the one she had waged in the Senate halls, but it was no less crucial. Padme, the former senator, had transformed into a shadow operative, her unwavering commitment to freedom now fueling a quiet, unseen resistance that would prove invaluable to the burgeoning rebellion. Luke and Leia grew up under the watchful eyes of both their parents, a privilege denied to them in another life. Their childhood was spent not on the arid sands of Tatooine or the bustling political landscape of Alderaan, but amidst the lush, untamed forests of their hidden moon. They knew the warmth of Padmé's embrace and the steady presence of Anakin's hand. This constant, loving foundation shaped them profoundly, instilling in them a sense of security and belonging that was deeply intertwined with their burgeoning connection to the Force. Anakin, acutely aware of their powerful heritage, began their Force training subtly, almost instinctively. He never spoke of the Jedi Order or the dark side, but instead taught them to feel the life energy around them, to listen to the whispers of the wind, and to understand the interconnectedness of all things. He would guide their hands to levitate small stones, not with grand pronouncements, but as a game, encouraging their focus and inner calm. He taught them empathy, urging them to sense the emotions of the forest creatures, to understand the subtle currents of feeling in their parents. This organic, unburdened approach allowed their Force abilities to blossom naturally, free from the rigid doctrines and political pressures that had once constrained the Jedi. Leia, with her sharp mind and innate leadership, quickly grasped the nuances of the Force, often sensing intentions and emotions before they were spoken. Luke, more attuned to the raw power, found a natural affinity for moving objects and sensing distant presences. Their understanding of the Force was not intellectual, but intuitive, a deeply personal connection forged through their father's gentle guidance and their mother's unwavering love. They saw the Force not as a weapon or a dogma, but as an integral part of life, a tool for understanding and compassion. This upbringing, steeped in love and subtle personal instruction, meant that when the time came for them to truly engage with their powers, they did so with a unique blend of innate strength and emotional maturity, a stark contrast to the fragmented knowledge and isolated struggles they might have otherwise faced. Anakin Skywalker's connection to the Force remained as potent as ever, a deep, resonant hum within him. But its nature had profoundly shifted. Without the rigid structure of the Jedi Order to guide him, and, crucially, without succumbing to the dark side's seductive promises, he forged a new path, one that lay outside the traditional Jedi-Sith dichotomy. He became, in essence, a gray Jedi. This wasn't a conscious declaration, but an organic evolution, born from his unique circumstances. He still felt the pull of his past, the echoes of his anger and impatience, but the constant, grounding presence of Padme and his children acted as an unwavering anchor. He meditated not in sterile temple halls, but amidst the vibrant, living force of their secluded moon, finding a different kind of balance. His understanding of the Force deepened, becoming less about dogma and more about empathy, protection, and the subtle interplay of life itself. He used his abilities not for grand battles or political maneuvering, but for the quiet, essential tasks of their hidden life. He could sense approaching dangers, whether a predatory creature in the forest or a distant Imperial patrol. His Force sensitivity allowed him to teach Luke and Leia in a way no formal Jedi Master could, guiding them intuitively, allowing their powers to grow naturally, unburdened by fear or strictures. He taught them control, not suppression, and the importance of using the Force for good, for connection, rather than for power. Anakin carried the immense weight of his past choices, the knowledge of what he could have become if he had succumbed to Palpatine's manipulations. The news of Darth Vader, the Emperor's enforcer, served as a chilling reminder, a dark mirror, reflecting a destiny he had narrowly avoided. Yet, he found a profound, if quiet, peace in his new role. He was no longer the chosen one burdened by prophecy, but a father, a husband, a hidden protector. His lightsaber remained sheathed, a symbol of a past life, but his connection to the Force, purified by love and choice, was a constant, living testament to the light he had chosen to embrace.